more spooky goings on. We are off to Ghost Hunting in Newsham Park. And as you can tell, it's Halloween! Yes, Halloween happens about a month and a half in my house. It involves vodka and... why am I now getting me yelled at? I shall endeavour to feed the furball, and I will be back in a second. I am feeding, yes, a mistress. Mistress of furriness. You shall be fed. We're here. The mistress of furriness has been fed. Right. And we have a book here because my son goes nuts because someone might see him on the camera. And I'm here in my PJs watching spooky stuff, half pissed. So we're going ghost hunting in Newsham Park Hospital. I'll put my headphones back on. Might be coming off in a bit because it's a bit warm. And here we go. Yes. Evil has come this way.
So this year in Liverpool, it seems like we've caught up with America. There are so many spooky attractions and Halloweeny events in the building.
Good. Because there's nothing boring like going out when it's dark and it's cold and going out and you just go out. It's a bit of spookiness. A bit of white lady sneaking up on the corner going anything. Just something weird about UK psyche. We can accept most haunted because that's, and then go like, oh, the weirdos watch that. But there's a huge amount of weirdos out there that watch most haunted. To get some spooky things going. It's not a serious thing. It's not like we're going, oh, we 100% believe in ghosts. It's we like ghost stories. We like, oh, so-and-so murdered so-and-so. So-and-so. Oh, so-and-so's wife was bonking so-and-so and her husband walked in and mass murdered the pair of them and threw them both out the window. That is gossip, and that is fantastic gossip. And we should encourage that. Instead of this stale history we have. You just shut off. Really do shut off. So, make history interesting. Which is why ghost hunting actually works. It makes history real, and it puts it into a context that is still relevant today. Whereas most historical tales, so-and-so married so-and-so, they had X amount of kids, he died, she died, and they lived in this house here, and this house was left to the kids. Yeah, it's boring. Ghost hunting tours work because they get into, oh, she was having an affair with her husband's best friend and he walked in and stabbed them both to death. That's interesting. But as regards the way we tell history now, especially in the UK, it's just like, yeah, I've just shut off. It's boring. It really is. Try and make interesting more history, more engaging, and tell the personal stories rather than just a bunch of random dates that are meaningless because you don't have any attachment to the characters. If you make the characters more interesting, then you have attachment to the characters, so the dates are more meaningful.
Build up to, of course, Hallows Eve, Halloween. We've done a couple of them already on the Guide Liverpool. We've been to Farmageddon. We've done Shiverpool and tons more online at guideliverpool.com. Now, I've been hearing for years stories of a very famous haunted location in Liverpool, just down the road from me in West Derby. It's in Tuebrook on West Derby Road, and it is this place. Now, until I got here, I didn't realise how scary and how spooky it actually would look.
Oh, that
Mark
is
Byron,
cool.
I've brought you with me. You had no idea where we were going. Tell us where we are.
I can't.
I don't care where you are. I want that building. I want to live in that building. I want to run around in full goth with my red face paint and my black lipstick and press my face against the window and scare the shit out of the kids.
Believe this, so you only ever bring me to the best places. I'm absolutely terrified with a Newsham Park mental asylum and an orphanage and a hospital and a home for murderers and all kinds. I actually can't believe I'm here.
It's an abandoned hospital and asylum, and it's got a massive, massive history. 1800s this place was built. It was an orphanage first, then a hospital, and then an asylum. We're going to go inside.
I can't go in here.
Because we got these two guys with us. We got Jess and we got Kelly from Dusk Till Dawn events. Just briefly tell us about what you guys do.
Well, we take members of the public on overnight ghost hunts every weekend of the year. We probably only have sort of Christmas Day off, but most weekends we're in some haunted, dark location somewhere, and tonight we're in one of the best. Yeah.
Okay. And Kelly, have we ever seen anything in Newsham Park? Have we ever felt any spirits or presence?
Yeah, absolutely. If anything's going to happen to you, it's going to happen at Newsham. So the last time I was here, we had people pushed inside a doorway. We had people pulled and their trousers pulled. It's an active location where physical things do tend to happen. So it is an exciting location to get inside.
Okay, never mind you, Mark. I've just got a very squeaky bum.
We love
now, Halloween.
this
Does that mean this place, the spirits are going to be out in force a bit more because it's Halloween?
Well, theory has it that at Halloween, sort of the veil is a little bit thinner, to the other side. So I don't know what it is, but every Halloween it seems to be incredibly, active, which it has been for all the years we've been doing this, and it's quite well known. Yeah, don't ask me why, but Halloween is the time to do some ghost hunting.
Okay, big question. Should me and Mark, because I'm going to do this one with you.
Yeah, I can't.
I left you on your own last time. I'll do it with you. We got some of the guys from Dusk Till Dawn events as well taking us through. Should we be worried, guys?
You should be a little nervous. I mean, it's an old asylum, but you'll be very, very good taken care of by us, most definitely.
You never know. We might find you a bed. You might like you. You might stay.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it looks 5-star right up my street.
But at Newsham Park, abandoned hospital and asylum, even the word sounds scary. We're going to do it at Halloween 2016 on the Guide Liverpool with the guys from Dusk Till Dawn events and Mr. Mark.
Do they still do that? Because I want to do that.
Superdrug own brand.
I want to do that. Why can I not do that? That looks so much fun. And in Skip to Me, I've like one ghost tour, and it's no offence to the people that are doing it. It's offence to the Skipton Council. They have no idea. We want the gossip of the death of murder. Oh yes. The only room in the house.
What is that?
Where did you see him?
Yeah. That little behold.
Yeah, he normally stands by.
So hang on. What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
I just seen a man again. It's twice. I've only been here for 30 seconds.
Stop the language. So sorry. Come over. What's your name?
Anne.
And you've just told us there is actually the spirit of a guy that walks up and down this corridor.
He normally stands at the doorway there. Don't freak.
I've just seen him. Twice.
Guess what? Murders caused by ghost. 0. Murders caused by living people. A hell of a lot more. So, let's be honest here. Ghosts don't frighten me. The living does. So, I'm quite happy to say, yeah, ghosty, let's follow the motherfucker. Let's get that bastard.
What did he look like?
Like an older man with a burgundy top on.
Do you know, I'm not joking, it actually does feel really cold. And
It wasn't cold.
outside. It feels quite
It wasn't
icy.
It is in here, but there are windows that haven't got glass in here as well, so it can change the temperatures. But when there are spirits around, it can either go icy cold or you can get boiling hot.
Right, well, I feel icy cold, icy cold.
There is a spirit.
The other week, we were doing a walk around with the guests, and I told the story of the time where I saw a lady, a young girl with long brown hair in a white Victorian smock with Victorian boots.
Loving the Liverpudlian accent. That's as good as the Yorkshire one, but it's up there.
It's probably that stair there.
That one could have been a child from the orphanage.
It could have been, but as I was telling the group the story, Rob was nowhere near me.
I
and
was
he
upstairs when we
saw-
done the walk around, and at the top there's a psychiatric ward, and when we was in there, I was standing by the back of the group, like at the back, and I could see a lady in a white hospital dress, and she looked like, you know, the ring.
They leave them.
She's got long brown hair, and she looked like the ring basically. And then when we went round, she explained the story. It was the lady that she'd
It
seen
would be so much
previously
fun
before
to
as
leave
well.
them stuck in
but
a room.
I must admit, I've investigated this place 100 times, and I hate down here.
Right, so this is the worst
So
bit.
we're starting off in the worst place, so the only way to
Someone at the
come on,
door,
let's
and
do it.
I've
There was a lady down.
I'm going to leave the mic on. Are we still recording? What? It's number 32. Is it number 22 you're after? Sorry. Lock my door now, because this is getting creepy. Where's my keys? My keys are somewhere in the jacket. You off out? Okay. Right, keys. I do not like it when someone calls unannounced. Keys. Did you order takeaway, Cameron? Okay. Don't trust that. That was a bit weird. The doors are delivered. So why would they be delivering twice? Let's start from here again. That just creeped me out.
Terrified with a Newsham Park mental asylum and an orphanage and a hospital and a home for murderers and all kinds. I actually can't believe I'm here.
It's an abandoned hospital and asylum, and it's got a massive history.
Yeah, we go.
1800s this place was built. It was an orphanage first, then a hospital, and then an asylum. we're going to go inside.
I can't go in here.
Because we got these two guys with us. We got Jess and we got Kelly from Dusk Till Dawn events. Just briefly tell us about what you guys do.
Well, we take members of the public on overnight ghost hunts every weekend of the year. We probably only have sort of Christmas Day off, but most weekends we're in some haunted, dark location somewhere.
Well
and
done, ladies.
tonight we're in one of the best. Yeah.
Okay. And Kelly, have we ever seen anything in Newsham Park? Have we ever felt any spirits or presence?
Yeah, absolutely. If anything's going to happen to you, it's going to happen at Newsham. So the last time I was here, we had people pushed inside a doorway. We had people pulled and their trousers pulled. It's an active location where physical things do tend to happen. So it is an exciting location to get inside.
Okay, never mind you, Mark. I've just got a very squeaky bum. Now, Halloween, does that mean this place, the spirits are going to be out in force a bit more because it's Halloween?
Well, theory has it that at Halloween, sort of the veil is a little bit thinner, to the other side. So I don't know what it is, but every Halloween it seems to be incredibly, active, which it has been for all the years we've been doing this, and it's quite well known. Yeah, don't ask me why, but Halloween is the time to do some ghost hunting.
Okay, big question. Should me and Mark, because I'm going to do this one with you.
Yeah, I can't do
I left
this
you on
on
your
your
own
own.
last time. I'll do it with you. We got some of the guys from Dusk Till Dawn events as well taking us through. Should we be worried, guys?
You should be a little nervous. I mean, it's an old asylum, but you'll be very, very good taken care of by us, most definitely. Yeah.
You never know. We might find you a bed. You might like you. You might stay.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it looks 5-star, right up my street.
Well, at Newsham Park, abandoned hospital and asylum. Even the word sounds scary. We're going to do it. It's Halloween 2016 on the Guy Liverpool with the guys from Dusk Till Dawn events and Mr. Mark Byron. Happy Halloween.
Come on. I don't see this from a few years ago, but it's fun. Let's be honest, it's fun.
What is that?
Where did you see him?
Here. That little bubby hole.
Yeah, he normally stands by.
So hang on. What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
I just seen a man again. It's twice. I've only been here for 30 seconds.
Stop the language. So sorry. Come over. What's your name?
Anne.
And you've just told us there is actually the spirit of a guy that walks up and down this corridor.
He normally stands at the doorway there. Don't freak.
I've just seen him.
What
twice.
did he look like?
Like an older man with a burgundy top on.
Do you know, I'm not joking, it actually does feel really cold. And
It wasn't cold.
outside. It feels quite
It wasn't
icy.
I am going to
It isn't here,
steal
but
your hat.
there are windows that haven't got glass in here as well, so it can change the temperatures. But when there are spirits around, it can either go icy cold or you can get boiling hot.
Right, well, I feel icy cold.
Yes.
Icy cold.
There is a spirit.
The other week, we were doing a walk round with the guests, and I told the story of the time where I saw a lady, a young girl with long
From
brown
Liverpool.
hair in a white Victorian smock with Victorian boots. It's probably that stair there.
That could have been a child from the orphanage.
It could have been, but as I was telling the group the story, Rob was nowhere near me.
I
and
was
he
upstairs when we done the walk around, and at the top there's a psychiatric ward, and when we was in there, I was standing by the back of the group, like at the back, and I could see a lady in a white hospital dress, and she looked like, do you know, the Ring? She got long,
No one
brown
is
hair,
going
and she
to
looked like the Ring basically.
save
And then when we went
you from
round,
the
she explained the
ghosts.
story. It was the lady that she'd seen previously before as well.
But I must admit, I've investigated this place 100 times, and I hate down here.
Right, so this is the worst
So we're
bit.
starting off in the worst place, so the only way up.
Come on, let's do it.
There was a lady down here. That's the lady where she got grabbed out.
Let's
here.
go
this is
down
the
the
lovely-
stairs.
Area, and this is one of our vigil areas for the night.
Sorry, I feel like I've just seen. Hang on, I've just seen someone's. I'm sure I've just seen someone's hand in that room, like a little hand. What's this little room here? This little thing.
I think it's just a
This.
Oh, that. It's just one of the rooms that goes off.
Okay.
So what we do is we either work in here.
Is that a mannequin?
Yeah, don't worry. Basically, what we was doing a vigil, and we was all holding hands so that so that they know if you get touched, it's not one of us that are doing it. And she screamed and moved her neck. But as she moved, the person next to her felt the arm of whatever it was that had grabbed her neck, basically. And then after that, I moved her over the other side of the room to see whether we can get someone else grabbed as well. Yeah. And she started just staring, and I was going, her name was Annika. Annika, you all right? And
If this was done by living people, how many ghosts would have sexual harassment charges?
She just kept staring, and in the end I had to take her out of the room because she just wasn't well.
You called an ambulance?
Well, the friends, because 6 people, for the first ever time I was down here, they didn't want to come up. 6 of the friends were too scared to come down, so they stayed upstairs.
I'd have come down.
Really quick. I was ice cold. I'm not cold at all now.
I feel warmer now.
I'm
I
really
do.
warm now.
It does change.
Because you're
it does.
underground.
The temperature does change. But you can get, especially when we go upstairs, you'll get cold energy around by your legs because that's children. So definitely when you go,
Okay.
yeah, when you say you only raise up, it's not.
So what is that designed to scare people?
No,
No, this is the part of the laundry equipment.
I mean, there is a spirit of a lady here that walks around this room. We think her name's Mary. She doesn't like us being in here
Right,
either.
okay. I don't like us being in here either, so let's leave Mary to the laundry and let's get out of here. Is that okay?
Do you not like Mary? You're not like
So, no, I really, Mary, I respect you, Mary, everything like that. Please don't touch me or grab me. I don't want to offend Mary by being in her laundry, okay? So please, can we exit the laundry now? Is that okay?
Are you all right?
Now, can we have the torches on?
Yeah.
Right, so this obviously is a locker room of some sort.
Look,
Right?
the
Tell us about
sweaters.
this.
This is a very, very haunted sort of area as well. Towards the end of the room, you always hear sound, you hear lights, audibles. All
I
our
want
mediums
some of
will
them
come down
lookers.
here and work. There was one time a spirit come through on the Ouija board, and she was talking about this one particular.
I want some of them lockers. There's something about them lockers that they're designed to last, and I can't smash them up. And they look cool. They just look cool.
Specific number of the lockers, and when I can't remember what the number was, but when you walked round, we couldn't find that number. It was the only number that had gone.
So you've actually done the Ouija board in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done it a lot. Rob, you've done it.
Come over, Rob. So tell us, because obviously
Obviously, the Ouija board doesn't really work. The Ouija board works by you thinking it's working, therefore you're automatically pushing it around the board to the point you don't realise you're pushing it around the board. They're hours of fun. And I recommend buying them for your teenage children to scare the shit out of. And people that say demon, bollocks to them. The more Ouija boards, the better.
the Ouija board is really frowned upon. So is it okay to do the Ouija board? Are you saying
It's perfectly fine to do Ouija board. We just tend to speak to the spirits in this building that it's all protected beforehand so that it's perfectly safe. I know people have had previous experiences of it being horrible and things attaching themselves, which is possible.
That's what I was
It is
scared
possible
of.
of things to happen, but it's very rare.
you would?
Ouija boards don't work. And the ghost upstairs is moving. He may be possessed. But I think it's just because he's 20 that he stinks. And moves around in a creepy fashion and just comes down and goes, "Feed me." I could be wrong. Could be possessed. But I just think it's because he's 20-year-old. He goes, "Feed me." And wanders around like a freak show. Here he comes. The freak. The possessed one.
What's up?
Do you want feeding?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I want feeding?
Do you want feeding?
Why?
Because that's what you normally want when you come downstairs.
No.
No. You've been caught wanting feeding.
No.
Oh, you're letting in the cat. That's right, go outside and let in the cat.
What are you doing?
He's run off in the other direction.
What?
Right. Can you close the door? It's cold.
It's not cold.
It's cold.
Oh.
Don't move back the screen. Oh no, it's a spooky hand with a peg. Okay. you have anything to say? No.
You would say to people at home, you know, don't
Yeah.
do it.
We-
Or would you say...
Did you hear
give it-
that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. It was my son closing the door.
Is that?
I'm not sure. But we do. We don't actually say don't do it. I used to be, before I started doing this, I never used to actually think...
Sorry, what was that noise?
It would come
It comes from bits falling off the ceiling.
from over there. It could be, we are under like the other floor, so it could be upstairs,
It wasn't
but
upstairs.
it
was
did
in the
sound in the
room.
room.
It was in the room, yeah, it was. It wasn't upstairs.
I'm
I've
going to
gone
pinch
cold
your
again now. I don't
hat.
know about you, but I can feel cold.
Normally there is a spirit of a male patient that walks up and down the corridor as well, so potentially it could be him.
Would he just be saying hello and you know?
Yeah, and he likes to frighten people.
He likes scaring people.
Let's be honest. Dead people are just people that are devoid of life. So if they're a twat in real life, they're a twat when they're dead. If they're really nice when they're alive, they're really nice when they're dead. So don't be a twat when you're alive, then you won't be a twat when you're dead. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Normally what we'd do is we'd put people out there on their own and ask the spirit to interact with.
Okay. Can we do that to Mark now?
Absolutely not. Sorry, no way. I've got a limit. No chance. of
Hello,
happening.
puppy cat. Just because people love puppy cats. This is my puppy cat, and she is my angel. She's lovely. The only problem is she likes her back scratch, and you'd end up doing that for hours. Or she'll tell you. So you might hear her meow because I've stopped scratching her back, or I've stopped tickling her, and she gets annoyed with me. But yeah, you know what? There are worse cats in the world to have. You're lovely, aren't you? Your baby. Your mummy's baby. Mummy's fur baby. You're coming up.
Right, so hang on, we just heard a real noise. What was that?
It's ice cold right here.
Where you're
Put your hand there.
Where we're standing now is where I saw the energy of the girl.
I can feel it.
She's
It's
here.
ice cold right here. It's freezing cold, and here it's not.
Right, I'm going to
I
make mine
actually
in a
come here as a
second.
bit of a...
Got a limit. No chance of not happening.
The girl.
I can feel it.
She's
It's
here.
ice cold.
Right, so hang on, we just heard a real noise. What was that?
It's ice cold right here.
Where you're
Put your hand there.
Where we're
That's what I've got to do all day
where
long.
I saw the energy of the girl.
I can feel it.
She's
It's
here.
ice cold right here. It's freezing cold, and here it's not.
Okay, I actually come here as a bit of a joke. I'm petrified now, so can we just get up and get... Yeah, that noise freaked me out.
Don't want to just breathe down your ear, yeah?
Ew.
What was that noise?
What noise? You screaming like a girl.
Get me out now. Get me out of here.
Come on.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ,
Stop
get me out
being
of this
late.
place.
Stop being late. They are so wet. Aren't they, Poppy Cat? Do you have anything to say about the matter? No, just scratch me. Stroke me, pet me, love me.
Right, okay, so we've come upstairs now. We've just had an incident on the stairs. I don't care what anyone says. There's just been a ghost behind me in
I
my
heard
stairs.
footprints. I heard a man.
I thought someone was running up the stairs.
Up the stairs like a stampede of people up
I'm
the
I've got my
stairs.
phone.
Oh, jeez. You cannot handle it. You boys cannot handle it. You should let us women handle it for you. You're pathetic. Whoa. Back scratch for the cat. Back scratch. Meow. You've had enough. Okay. Good.
I'm ready to phone me mum and say bye to her. I have just cacked it then, I must admit. So where are we now? We're now at the top.
We're now going into the naughty boys corridor.
Translation of cacked it is shit his pants. It's basically shit his pants.
Corridor and there's a psychiatric wing here.
What is the naughty boys corridor?
Should we go in?
Yeah, okay. Let's just do it.
The naughty boys corridor. There's lots of naughty boys corridors.
Don't let me in at the back! Stop it!
The door! What? The door's just closed on its bill. So that door's just closed on its own.
The door's
Yep.
just closed by its own, yes.
So we're now locked in the naughty boys corridor.
I was in here last week doing vigils, and these doors, we asked the spirit to open and close the doors, and they did, and nobody was standing there.
Mark, how are you feeling, mate? What can you feel?
At the minute, I feel awful.
You look pale.
I feel actually hopeless. Honest God, I feel really hopeless now.
I still want your hand.
And I've got a horrible feeling come over me.
Yeah.
Of like real hopelessness.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Apparently, when it was an orphanage, the children would be locked in here.
What?
Yeah.
So, hang on.
Do you want to? They would be locked in
Oh,
here.
man.
And there was a spirit of a warden that walks up and down. And
Why would the
patrols-
kids be locked in there?
Because that's what they did apparently.
And they probably felt really hopeless.
Yeah. Yeah. That's blast from the British history. Get children to behave. Abuse them. Yay. It's a bit Oliver Twist in nature.
When
That is-
we were in
that
there,
is
that's
how-
where I've got that feeling from.
And we've had enough.
That is such a small, horrible little space to
horrible
lock
and
a kid.
I don't want to be in this part anymore, guys.
Yep. And when they reached the age of 10, they were deemed an adult and therefore went to the workhouse to work off all the money the government paid for them being in the orphanage. Yes. British people were psychos during the Victorian era.
Honest to
I
God.
told you it was worse.
That is horrible.
The story of a boy that's actually here as well. 4 days he was locked in and he died. And every time we do either table tipping or the trolley moving, he always comes through, and the warden's always blocking him as well, isn't he?
God
He
love
won't
him.
allow him to come through, and we
The warden is a bitch. But that was normal behaviour back then. So she's just a bitch. Just put it down to she's just a bitch. Right? The warden's a bitch. And if her ghost is still there, the ghost is still a bitch. Let's carry on.
say, right, we'll protect you, we will look at, I think his name's James, isn't it? Every time, it's different, because every group that we get, every week, has the same names that come through.
So James was killed in one of these.
Yeah, I
See,
think
that's
Yeah.
so sad, isn't it?
This is yeah.
Oh, little James.
Yeah, I heard it.
What movement behind then? You?
What was that?
Yeah, it was movement. As if there was somebody walking down the corridor behind us.
That end of the corridor and that end of the corridor are the most intense areas.
I swear.
They really are intense. People were just absolutely scared out of their wits down there the other week.
So the warden still haunts this place.
Yeah, I was very active last week.
To haunt somewhere, have you got to have died there?
They normally say, oh, you've got to have a connection with the place as well. So this is all he knows.
So he might have died elsewhere, but he's
He's
come
got
back
a
here.
connection. He was a patient here, but back in the day, some patients were given.
This goes back to the theory of that time is not as linear as what we assume it is, and there are certain places where you get a slight overlap, and I think this is one of those places where you get a slight overlap. Right. That is not proven by science, so I can't tell you whether that is happening or not. That is my personal belief. You get a slight overlap at times. There are certain times when people talk to ghosts and it's like, who are you? Are you there? And they think they're talking to a ghost. So it lends credence to the fact that perhaps time itself is a ball of timey-wimey stuff, and you need a blue box to go around with a certain doctor and travel around. Or there's some other sciencey thing happening that I'm not aware of because I'm not clever enough. It's just dim. But you do get this sense that sometimes the people that are supposed to be dead think they're talking to someone else who is dead. So that would mean that time in that place has somehow folded ever so slightly, so you get someone that is 100 years in the past talking to someone that's 100 years in the future, and somehow that time line overlaps a bit, so you can hear voices and see shadows and see movement. That is one of the theories of ghosts. Has not yet been proven? Yeah. If they ever prove it, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Or it wouldn't surprise me as if one of the reasons is that the electromagnetic field of the earth somehow records a tape, sort of a stone tape theory. Because even Yvette Fielding goes in for the stone tape theory, that you get a memory from the past that is still there in the present for some strange reason. And I still want the hat.
Some preferential responsibilities, and he was one of them, and he thought he did a good job.
One of the doors just moved.
And did you hear
Definitely.
that?
Yep, I heard that like a child.
We open the doors and we say, come on then, you horrible man, if you're here, close the doors. And as we open all the doors, the trolley flies into them and locks all the doors that we've opened, as if to trap all the children of what he was doing when he was here.
I don't want to trap.
Yes, release the children. They were stuck in there in life. They shouldn't be stuck in there in death. Or these things happen. And I know a lot of people that are atheists don't believe they happen, and I'm quite willing to accept that they don't believe that that happens, but I've seen this weird shit happen. And there's no sort of fishing wire involved, or there's no sort of trickery involved in some cases. Not all cases. But in the very, very small percentage of cases, no sort of trickery involved. And then you've got to ask yourself, why it is we have always seen people that have lived before us, and why that is a thing. And it's not that people are crazy all the time, it's that sometimes, maybe, time isn't as linear as we think it is. Yeah, and I'm not making any sense because I'm pissed. Just forget it.
Trap them again now.
No, we try and say
we'll
we're going to let them free.
Get
We're
out.
going to let them free, and he moved.
I know I hit the door, then that's it. Sorry, guys. Get me out of here. Get me out now.
You okay?
So, no, I'm not. I need to get out of here. The doors are open and closing, and we've had a child laugh. We've had footprints behind us. I'm sweating and boiling hot, and it's the middle of October.
There was footprints last week.
Well,
Footsteps.
there we go. I've just heard foot.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Take him
Actually,
out, wings his white.
Nah. I don't know what happened there.
No, what was that then? Because I did not touch that.
If you didn't touch it, you haven't got a clue.
Right, on my nan's, God forbid me, on my nan's grave, I did not touch that door.
If you didn't touch that, that's what happened.
Another one. Another one. That was another one.
Mark, 1 second, just let me work this out. Just hang on. I never touched that door though.
Open the
That's
door.
what happened last week. I don't know
I
what.
think it's internet connecting.
Oh, I can get up and down now.
That was, yeah.
No probs. If I want to jiggle a doorknob. If I want to jiggle doorknobs, I'm up and down that bit in the middle. That sounds really bad, but it's true.
This is the psychiatric wing, and it's pretty intense.
So psychiatric, when this was an asylum.
Do you know what? I wonder if we don't realise we're dead, or we want to fake not dying because we overthink it. You don't get that many ghosts of animals, and the reason is animals don't think it, they just do it. And because we have to overthink it, perhaps a part of us remains because we just overthink it. And let's face it, I'm not being really reliant on God saving my soul.
Asylum.
Yes.
This is where people would have been would have stayed.
Would have stayed in here, and the energies are pretty.
I'd have been in there. Because I'm neurodivergent. So I'd have been in there, and it'd been really lovely for me, and been like a prison. Said, I'm an hysterical woman because I asked for rights. Oh dear. Yes. So I'd have more likely been in there. Carry on.
Pretty intense in here.
Any dangerous people stay here?
Not that I know of in this part, but when
No.
we've done vigils in here, I had a piece of wood thrown over one of the cubicles and hit our group. And we've had I would say, the most intense table tipping that I've ever seen in here.
Was in this room.
Was in here.
Okay, so this was an asylum in, I think it was like.
For Americans that want to know what table tipping is, you get a round table. You sit around the round table, you put your hands on the table, and you ask the ghost to tip the table. This does work. And because you're American and you think, oh my life, only capitalism can save me now, we must buy expensive equipment. You're actually missing a lot of the things that ghosts do actually respond to. Table tipping is one of them. So don't think a over expensive radio that flicks through the channels will save you when it comes to ghost adventuring.
Like 30s to 70s, was it?
I think the last time it shut in the 80s.
Right, okay.
I think.
So it was open until the 80s.
I think so, yes.
Not long ago at all, not long ago, is it?
No, so the energies are still quite prevalent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go inside. We're going inside the actual asylum in Newsham Park.
Yeah.
And you're going
Yes.
first because I'm not.
I'm freezing cold again. It's just me I'm just so not used to.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that happen then.
Yeah.
So I imagine probably the people that were here, they had nothing to do. And
They-
some of them
they
probably
did-
weren't even crazy in them days. Like people who.
Suffered with hysteria. We should go into a discussion about hysteria. It's a mental issue that women had. It just basically covered everything. Oh, a woman argued it with me. Hysteria. A woman had a short bout of hormones. Hysteria. So a lot of the women that were put into those mental institutions were just either suffering from normal hormonal reactions to once a month daily, or was hysterical because of an incident that happened in their life, or they questioned their husband. You can be hysterical about an incident that happened in your life, such as you lose a baby, or you lose a loved one, and that would be deemed hysterical because the way you grieved. So a lot of women were sent to mental institutions because their husbands wanted to shack up with their mistresses, which is true. This is what happened when you have sort of an institution that said you marry as soon as possible when you are young, especially if you're women, and you marry who your family tells you to marry. It's particularly your dad who, for some reason, owns your vagina in a weird, creepy manner, and you're told by your dad who to marry, and you're married this man, and this man realises he's not quite really into you. He sees another woman, and then you have a bit of PMS, or you question him going off to see his mistress in the middle of the night while you're really ill, and perhaps he should be looking after you instead of shacking up with his mistress. That is hysteria, and we would be sent to mental institutions at the rate of knots because we're hysterical instead of just being angry women because of the social norms that were put on us. So there we go. So yes, not everyone was crazy in a mental institution, particularly the women.
They were all proper crazy in here, yeah?
They weren't well at all. And it's strange that you just suddenly stood there.
Why?
Because when I said...
Also poverty. Poverty is a big, massive thing that lands you into institutions. In the UK, so you would end up in the workhouse. If you argued too much in the workhouse, they would send you to a mental institution, and that would be essentially the end of your life. So we have a lot of people that were mentally ill, and that's not even before we get on to people that are gay. So you have your LGBTQ community were repeatedly put into these institutions because they had mental problems. No, they didn't. They're just experiencing the human condition in a slightly different manner than what the norm actually is. And whatever the norm is, I don't know. I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic, so I have no idea what the norm actually is. And I change what would be considered gender norms as per job I'm doing. So if I'm, oh look, I'm chopping down the bushes. Yes, I'm a psycho with a chainsaw. Only I don't kill people, I just kill the bushes. And then we have, I like this cute and girly thing. So I will go girly. But I don't have a set gender norm like other people have, because that's what happens when you're non-binary. Difficult. If you're neurodivergent, you make a gender specific to the job in requirement. That's the easiest way of describing it. Axe, you're a man. Vacuum, you're a woman. Ish. Manish. It's really weird. It is hard to explain to someone who was being normal.
Spoke about even the most intense table tipping. What we do is we ask spirit to move the table. You've got your hands on it, but you're actually getting the spirit to move the table. The table was literally throwing itself up here.
Yeah, you just put your hands lightly on top of the table and the table moves. Now, you need a group of you to do this. Now, whether it's your mind moving it like it is sometimes with the Ouija board, or whether it is the ghost moving it, is up for a lot of debate. Mainly, scientists believe that it is your mind moving it and you're not realising it. But there is no sort of actually looking at it in any other process. But I personally believe that ghosts are a memory of the past. And it might just be the one memory on repeat. Or it might be several memories that just pop up every now and then. And people think, oh, I see the lady in white. And that's just one person. That could be several people that you're actually seeing in different parts of the building, and they have one specific memory that pops up. But I can't prove that. Science says that's bunkum. So we'll continue, because I'm going into too much detail because I'm half drunk.
And there used to be a table and it just used to collapse, and it would get people would pick it up again, and it was just violent. But what we think it was the energy of a spirit in here, headbanging. And when we've had mediums come in here, they've stood next door and they've said, we can hear you screaming, we can hear you crying.
Headbanging is something that is done by mental patients because they're bored and they're stressed. So you put someone in a small room, they will start headbanging. and that happens with people who don't have mental illnesses. You put them in a small confined space, you make them stop at the small confined space, and they will start headbanging. This is why lockdown's been so detrimental to mental health, is because we are not designed to do that. We're also not designed to do things like work over 40 hours a week. If you work over 40 hours a week, your brain just mentally collapses in on itself and does nothing. In fact, after a few weeks of doing this, your brain will go, I mentally collapse in X, Y and Z time, and I'm not working those times, and I'll work those times, so I will do the 40 hours a week. As stupid as what it seems. This is why people that say, oh, I need you in the office 70 hours a week. No, you're not getting any difference between that and 40 hours a week. And you're just paying for the extra. The only difference is in a 40-hour-a-week system, you have to lower things like rent and the price of food and so you have a whole entire system that works around that. And that is why people don't tend to go for the 40-hour week. And I've rambled on again, but I've got on to workers' rights when we're discussing ghosty rights. Like, ghost rights are spooky, 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 scare the crap out of you, let's have some fun.
And they always direct me here, which I think is fascinating.
Oh my
This
God.
particular cupboard.
So this was
Yeah.
someone's room, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that space.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And quite freaky.
And they were probably tied to the bed as well back in the day, because that's what they thought was good care.
How do you feel, Mark?
I just feel awful in here. Honest to God, I felt so calm.
And now you feel
And
bad again.
now, just the people, you know, they would have been here, there was no care for them like there is today, no help for them.
This is the staff quarters. There's normally an energy of a nurse in here. Mediums have picked up that she stands at the window and shouts at us, and people have seen her. But recently, that room there is starting to become quite active.
Are they moving away from the mediums? If so, is that then not a human rights issue? The ghost wants to be left alone and you're pestering it, and the ghost is essentially a person. If a ghost is real, then a ghost is a person, therefore they have human rights, and one of the human rights is do not disturb. If they're shouting, screaming at the window and they're moving and they're changing their behaviour to accommodate your behaviour, is that then not infringement of their human rights and their personal space? This is a good question.
So you've just seen someone, haven't you?
I 1,000,000%. Actually, before you even said that it was the staff quarters, I seen somebody who was stood over there. I heard
Yeah,
that.
what was in that cough?
Yeah.
There's a cough in there, actually.
There was a cough in there.
So that, yeah.
Why would there be a cough in there?
This is the only time that I felt absolutely terrified. This is the only time that I felt genuinely I'm so scared in here right now.
So tell me, you've just seen a white thing.
Yeah,
The
I know.
doctor and nurse. What do you think it
I'm
was?
so scared.
I mean, but what we're trying to do is you can hear noises, but we don't always say that the paranormal. We're trying to debunk it. We'll say as people moved. But we will try and debunk it. But if we can't think of come up with a
That's the best way of dealing with it. Is there a scientific explanation to what it is other than the ghost? But they don't go that far. They don't go far enough. That's okay. Do you know what? It doesn't matter. If people are getting enjoyment out of going around empty buildings, scaring the shit out of themselves, I don't see what the problem is. And you get like a tour and you get the history of the building, and it's like an historical tour just with graphic details, which is more fun. I was hoping they'd scare a lot more.
For natural
Easier.
reason.
Get out of here.
Then it's paranormal.
I'm so scared. I felt jumpy the whole way around, but I'm actually terrified in here.
Scream.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in danger, scared, honest to God.
You feel that bad?
You know, like when you're watching a scary film, you wait for something to happen.
That has been like other people have picked up
Making me
that
feel
energy.
scared. Now they're doing it on purpose.
But when they tend to know someone's scared, they tend to sort of do everything to that person. It's like when people say, "Please don't touch me," they're going to touch you because they were once here, and people like to play jokes, and you are going to do something you're not supposed
Mm. Especially if you're a kid. That is so much fun. Please don't touch me. No, I'm coming up to sneak behind you to touch you. Because that is fun watching you scream like a girl. Like, hi, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
Please don't touch Mark Barron.
I need to get out of this room.
Okay, right.
Listen, I just want to know one question. Is there any chance, and is it true that a spirit can latch on to you and go home with you?
It's very rare. It is.
So if I go to the pub after this, I'm not going to be sitting next to some nurse from the 60s.
You probably will from the energy of the pub.
Right.
But you'll probably be drinking the top shelf of spirits more than connecting with them in that sense.
I'll definitely be doing that.
I've got a headache.
Yeah, you will.
I've just got a headache.
When there's any
You see, the difference between American ghost hunting and British ghost hunting is we don't get possessed. Listen to this, Americans. We don't get possessed. We don't have spiritual connection. There's the odd one or two that happens, but nowhere near like Zach Bagan tells you get possessed. No. If you feel like you have a spiritual connection, there are ways of getting rid of that in the UK that don't involve the preacher performing a full exorcist. One of them is ignoring the ghost and then it goes away on its own. The other one is, you cannot harm me. If you seriously do not believe that that ghost cannot harm you, it cannot harm you. If you believe the ghost can harm you, it will harm you.
energy around, you get a headache, you can feel sick, you can feel drained, and we do sort of protection just so when people can get your roots down and get yourself in a protective bubble. We do things like that just to try and make people feel well, and we do like plenty of drinks and like ground you again. Have a biscuit, it always helps.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's go and do that. Let's get downstairs again.
This place is creepy and it looks fantastic.
So I cannot believe we've just done this. We've just done the ghost tour of Newsham Park Abandoned Hospital and Asylum and Orphanage. Mark, you've been the star of the show. How are you feeling? Because you've just been through it up there.
I have really been through it, but you know what? It was terrifying, but it was
Cool.
great to find out all the information about the place and the history. It was so interesting. We had a lot of spiritual experiences up there, and I'm going to struggle to sleep tonight. But I mean,
good.
it's Halloween. That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Okay, guys, so
Let's
you're
have
setting up
fun.
for your tour now, so we got some equipment and stuff. Just briefly tell us about this, Jess.
Oh, well, it's lots of hands-on equipment for the guests to use. They do have free time to take a piece of equipment and do their own experiments throughout the night if they're brave enough. Temperature gauges, headphones, Ouija boards.
So the guests arrive, they go off and kind of explore for themselves,
Yeah, a little bit later on.
and then you're
If-
back tomorrow, next week, for the
Not
foreseeable
tomorrow,
every
but
week.
the following week we're back again. Probably.
Right, I'm going to stop it there. If I end up in Liverpool, I know where these guys are. Because my magical mystery tour says I need to end up in Liverpool. And if I end up in Liverpool, I am going to go here. Let's have a stop recording.